Right. Hello, everybody. We are back. It is Monday. It is day 6 of Level Up Lead Generation, and we are chatting all about referral programs and affiliate programs. And I'm going to teach you today a little bit about how I work those programs inside of my sleep coaching agency and also inside of the lab, which, is its own different type of coaching and consulting, but still offers same values, right? It doesn't matter what your industry is. How you take what I teach you today and implement it into your business can be super helpful for not only just kind of group spread, right? But also for just new ways to get consistent leads and revenue inside of your business. Going to go ahead and share my screen today. And if you've been catching up on all the replays, which based on the records and the reports, looks like a lot of people caught up over the weekend, which is really good because I'm here to help. And I really want to make sure everybody's, getting the best out of this that they can, because at the end of the day on Wednesday, we're done and you're going to miss me. So certainly want to make sure I'm covering as much as I can during this session. And then for anybody who does go in and decide they want to join the lab, we're here to continue the conversation. So let's jump in. We're going to talk about referral partnerships because one of the biggest things I realized, folks, is up to 82%, sometimes 85, depends on which statistic you use, of your new clients are referrals. Now, when I say the term referral, I could be talking about somebody that you know, right? A family friend, an associate, a past roommate, or what have you from college that knows you do what you do today, right? Could be practitioners. In our space of sleep coaching, it's pediatricians, OBGYNs, postpartum doulas, lactation counselors, right? In the space of anything, there's going to be people who are natural referral partners, right? I work a lot with chiropractors. Typically, chiropractors are more of a holistic practice. They're also not always covered by insurance. So the people that see chiropractors, one can infer that you might have extra disposable income, which is helpful when you're paying for a service like sleep coaching. And practitioners generally understand in the chiropractic space what we're doing, right? So that's like a really big referral partner of mine. And so it's important that you figure out who those people are in your network and then who you want to outreach to and how you're going to reach out to them, right? One of the questions in the workbook, if you have it in front of you, are who are the partners or practitioners that I want to collaborate with, right? So no matter what your business is, you've got to be sitting there thinking about who do I want to focus on? And I'll give you a great example that has nothing to do with sleep. Okay. 5 years ago, I was diagnosed with a rare genetic mutation. It's called CDH1. I'm about 1 in 3,000 people in the entire world of millions and millions and millions of people who have this mutation. Okay. I have nowhere to go except a Facebook group. And I had no education, knowledge, support, resources, or what have you, right? When you have your stomach removed entirely and your gallbladder removed, your life changes drastically. Okay. I didn't have anybody I could go to who didn't have to Google what I had before I talked to them. And then they'd give me their perspective of advice 15 seconds after figuring out my DNA, right? And my body type and the way my body functions now, right? And most of them, frankly, stare at me and go, "You don't have a stomach?" I never met anybody without a stomach, right? The reason I say that is because if I was a functional nutritionist, okay, and I was talking about I wanting to niche in and to serve a specific subset of clients. So whether you're a sleep coach looking to service toddlers who are twins, or a lactation counselor only serving moms of multiples, right? My girlfriend that I went and got my CLC with is in her own practice now doing that. She only serves moms of multiples who are trying to nurse, right? It's niching in and figuring out how you align with the other people in that space, right? If I was a functional nutritionist, that would be my target, right? Learn everything you can about life without a stomach. And you got 4,000 people that would happily pay you to help them not be miserable. I am luckily a self-starter, so I figured out how to not be miserable myself. But for many of the people that have what I have, life is very miserable for them. For me, I live no different. Okay. But if I knew, and every week I meet new people who have CDH1, I refer them to the same doctor at Penn, to the same functional nutritionist, right? Like, because they are the masters of that thing, right? And I will send them to no one else because they're the people I trust and they have treated me, right? So there's a sense of comfort, right? There's a sense of knowledge and credibility that these people have, right? Well, you've got to figure out who are the practitioners and partners that you want to collaborate with and then make kind of a list, right, of like who those people are and how they can best service you. It is sometimes as simple as saying like pediatrician, chiropractor, functional nutritionist. It's sometimes getting as deep as a specific title. So I just got hired to do corporate consulting for a company that does environmental sustainability products. And they asked me to come in and do some corporate consulting. And I'm trying to help them data mine environmental sustainability specialists at large manufacturing agencies and do it in a better way than just manually Googling LinkedIn or Zoom info, right? Because that is the person that they need to target to get their message across, right? You have to figure out first, you're building a business. Where are your current clients coming from? Again, probably referrals to start or a Facebook group. And then you have one great client referral. My one consultant made 100,000 or $10,000, not 100,000. That's misinformation. She made $10,000 in 1 month from one Facebook group, one post on one Facebook group, and got like 15 new clients from one post. So somebody's point put into a Facebook group at the right time yielded her clients, and she didn't have to sell anything. She basically talked to them, said, yes, we're a fit. And then she booked, 10 clients January kind of 2nd, right at the beginning of the new year, a few years back. Okay. The reason I share that is because you've got to understand, like, where are these people coming from? If you just get somebody on your website who's like, hi, I want to work with you. Good to talk to you. And you're like, you don't ask where they're from. How are you going to know who's out there spreading positivity about you? And then also thank them in a variety of different ways, right? Don't leave the referrals up to chance or the fact that you just think they found you off Google, but it turns out they found you off TikTok and somebody shared you out there, or one of your pediatricians. I kid you not. I told you the story the other day of the pediatrician at soccer practice who was referring me for years. And she's like, Courtney, I had your name on a Post-it note and I Googled you to make sure you didn't look crazy and that you knew what you're doing. And I send people your way. And all she did was hear my name from one of her patients. And I still don't know who that patient was, right? So you've got to understand and figure out a way to get the referrals coming into your practice, right? So one of the biggest things you can look at as far as like where that traffic's coming from, or like what are the net new opportunities for you? Past clients who've used your services, easy, right? Current members who know, like, and trust you. Postpartum practitioners, in our case, from a sleep standpoint, doulas, lactation, pelvic floor, right? Like people who are dealing with a similar base. Newborn photographers, huge one. They deal with your client every day, right? Sometimes getting into the hospital with the newborn photographers are really hard. I try to like get into some of the folders, but hospitals from a liability standpoint are really not happy about referring anybody that could be a potential liability, at least here in the States. Okay, so that's hard. You've got practitioners. Doesn't matter what you sell, there's a practitioner out there that probably has some aspect of knowledge, right, around what you're doing. If you sell a course on sports or baseball and how to sharpen your pitching, you could probably say you're going to deal with like a knee doctor, right? Because he's probably replacing a ton of ACLs, right? Or a physical therapist because they're doing training, or massage therapists because they're massaging the athletes to make sure that they're ready and prepped for the games, right? Like dietitians, right? Performance coaches, right? If you have the term performance coach, it means you're performing at something. You got a coach who's trying to help you be the best in whatever it is, right? You've got your standard social media channels and you've got your friends and family. Absolutely. And they're all great referral sources, right? I'm tagged all the time in things like, hey, Courtney's this, Courtney that, Courtney, can you help? And sometimes it's like Sabella's classmates. And it's because I happen to wear my tiny transitions purposely today, because everywhere I go, people see it. On the back of my car, I have a little tiny cricket that I did of our logo, and it just says infant and toddler sleep coaching under tiny transitions with my elephants. So if somebody's behind me at a red light or passes my car at Target, it's not like this big gaudy thing, it's a little 3-inch by 4-inch kind of logo that sits on the back of my Volvo. But you know what? The mom that walks by my car 5 times at Target might look at that and go, I got to call her, right? You got to figure out how you're outreaching to these practitioners. So one of the things that I do in the lab is data scraping. I call it list building, right? So for folks like Melody, who's in the lab, and all the members of the lab, when they come on, I say, where do you live? And then who are your top people based on what your kind of practice is, right? And then I build lists and I say, okay, here's every pediatrician, pediatric dentist, chiropractor, OBGYN, newborn photographer, like you name it. Here's a list for you, served up in Excel so that you have outreach to the schools and the daycares and all this stuff in your area to begin building the initial outreach. As I said the other day, this is not Field of Dreams. They will not just come to you, right? You've got to figure out what your introduction is to whoever you're outreaching. In the example of a sleep coach, my goal is to do this. I help families with this. Are you interested in services? We're doing something right now with pediatricians and practitioners, which is giving them access to our Sleep Steps program so that they are confident and assured that what we're teaching is helpful to fill the gap in what they face as a practitioner. As a pediatrician, you get 5 minutes in an office with a client. You're not sleep training them. You're not helping them sleep train, right? So what can a pediatrician do to help ensure that their patients are supported? One, because it takes the burden off the pediatrician. Two, it helps the client feel better as a patient, right? They're struggling and they need help. So you've got to figure out what value do you bring to that practitioner first before you ask anybody for anything, right? And you introduce yourself. What is the most common thing I would say that people do, right? If I saw Maureen or Kelly or someone out at dinner and I said, "Oh, Maureen, it's so nice to see you. Your hair looks great." What is the first thing you do back, right? Think about it. And the next time you go somewhere and somebody gives you a compliment, I want you to think about what you're going to say back. Our response as people with human behavior, because this is all behavior related, is to say what? "Oh, that sweater is great. Oh, I love your lipstick," right? You return the compliment almost always with a compliment or something positive. Human nature, right? Well, it's kind of the same where you're like, "Hey, Mr. Chiropractor, have you ever thought about having me come in? Would it be helpful to your patients for me to teach some free Zoom sessions? I'd be happy to do them on your schedule if you're interested," right? I'm offering them something that might help their clients. Another thing I do sometimes is I'll reach out to practitioners and I'll literally just say, "I have a client right now who's interested in pediatric nutrition services. Is that something that you can provide with? And are you currently taking new clients?" That's it. I didn't ask to shove a brochure in their office. I didn't ask for anything. I literally said, "Are you taking new clients?" You know what happens? When they write back, they either say, yes, they are, or no, they're not. And gosh, pediatric sleep. I would love that. We need help with that here. I see parents all the time. They're so tired, right? A nutritionist can't help with sleep, and they probably don't know who to go to or who they can trust to go to that's going to provide good education, right? We do something here that's like a really fun way to get referrals back and forth. Okay, so I have little cards made up. I'm not sure if I have any in my desk right now. I'm trying to keep things organized. If you read my newsletter this morning, I actually cleaned an entire garbage bag out of my desk. I'm not sure I'm proud of that, but a lot of papers I've been holding on to. I'm a very paper heavy person, and put all my business cards over in the office closet. But I have a little card, and I got cards made on Vistaprint that when I close out time with a client, you know what I do? I take 10 minutes, guys, and I write a handwritten thank you. And I say, "It's so appreciative. I'm so happy to have worked with you. Thank you for allowing me the fact to do this thing. Here are a couple referral cards in the future if you want to share our services with others." For each client that comes to us to book private coaching as a thank you for your referral, we're going to offer you $50 in your sleep coaching piggy bank. You can bank as much help as you want, right? And for those that come to Sleep Steps, which is our course, for every person that you refer using your affiliate link in Sleep Steps, you get $10 per person per month. Awesome, right? And so this way, it's like a thank you of, "Hey, thanks for sharing our name, but we're also going to give your friend $50 off," right? So that's a pretty good deal. Then they're a little more likely to use you because there's some incentive behind it. One, you've got the credential of the validation that the service works. And then you've also got a $50 bonus. I'll tell you, I probably bought $500 worth of Rothy's for this sole thing alone. And, then I'm like, anybody need Rothy's? And then I share it. And my friends, we all like go back and forth. It's like my purse, my favorite shoes. And I probably got like $200 in free credits just for sharing Rothy's, which is a product I love and I wear every day and I wear in the form of a purse every day. And that is in the washer as we speak. So I can't show it to you because I'm washing it, which is the reason I love Rothy's, right? But I'm happy to share it. And then for everybody who buys from my referral, I get money back from Rothy's. It's an affiliate program, right? It's so beautiful when you can have your system set up to be able to do that, right? This is a sample of one of our cards. Now, our Instagram handle, I changed a little bit since the picture of this, but this is the actual business card. Tiny Transitions is just the handle now. But it's the front of the card like this: pregnant, infant, toddler, pregnant, safe sleep, toddler, right? I'm real big on the safe sleep photos. And I would actually say this one might look now like it has a bumper on it, which I didn't catch initially, or the sheets are loose. So I won't use that photo again, but I'm very conscious of that stuff. Now, I will say the business card is tiny, so you can't see it. But I try to be conscious of like the imagery that I'm using. We've got two little boys here, old enough to have a blanket and to be sleeping. And on the back, it just simply says, refer a friend. We'd love to show our appreciation and you get a $50 credit, right? So it's something as simple as that we use for outreach. We go back to past clients. We're doing that in the next couple of weeks with all of our past private coaching clients. Hey, by the way, do you know we have this referral program? We also have sleep steps if you sign up to be an affiliate. These are all people that have paid us hundreds of dollars. And I'm going to hit them back up and say, hey, if you're still sharing about us, don't forget about these things. Oh, and we have this new sleep steps program too, right? So this is a sample of one of those emails that I sent out. Like this is actually one I sent. So there's a lot of different ways that you can connect with those people to build out that referral partnership. Then what I do is in our CRM, this is how we track it. Do you have a banked check-in call? And then how much is your kitties or your piggy bank, right? My daughter wants a pig, so I keep saying pig or cat, kitty bank, kitty pool, piggy bank. She's not getting a pig for her birthday, by the way. I got her a stuffed one. She wants a real one. We're not getting a pig, but referral credit balance, right? How much is in your piggy bank? You can build up $700. You want to refer that many clients to me at $50 each? It's really not that hard. One Facebook post will do that. And then when you have your second baby, your sleep coaching's on us. Right? Little things. And at the end of my client engagements, I send them my favorite book. My consultants all have different books they do. We all follow a similar process, but I seal the deal of a private relationship with something positive, my favorite book. And this book I love. It was one of my favorites. I still can read it to my kids, even though they're 8 and 10. And it's beautiful. It turns into a poem that you can put on the wall, but the book is lovely. It's $5 on Amazon, right? Sometimes I send clients warmies. They're like $20 and I ship them to their house if they have toddlers. Did I have to do that as a sleep coach? No. Does it send a good message when I start with a new client who has 3 kids, they're all toddlers and they all suck at sleeping? Okay, so yes, I spent $60 to send them warmies. You know what they spent? $2,000 to coach with me. And I've already gotten 4 referrals, 3 reviews from 3 different kids in their family, and a very happy customer whose problems I solved. And I sent them a little book at the end, just with a small thank you. Didn't even tell them it was coming, just let it appear in the mail. And she's like, this has definitely become a new favorite, right? Like, it's just the little things that up-level your engagement with these potential clients. I just bought something. I'm a paper card person. So I had a stamp made for Tiny Transitions, right? So that I could hand stamp all of my cards, right? You know what I also got? A wax seal. Just for something cool. I saw them at Michael's the one day. They were like 90% off. And it's just a little envelope with a heart. But like, what a cool touch to get like a card, a wax seal, like stamp on it. And it's just more for fun, trying to just change the way I'm engaging with clients. So you've got to figure out with your referrals, what type of system are you using, right? How are you getting the news out? And then in what ways are you contacting and engaging with those people, right? When you have referral lists, you've got to look at your number of contacts. Are these people who are clients So they're happy to refer you because there's validation of your product. Are they practitioners who don't quite know you yet, but are trying to learn, right? Or are you targeting people third party via like ads or social media to become an affiliate, right? So I became an affiliate for SlumberPod. I never used SlumberPod because my kids were too old. SlumberPod I could have created at the beach one summer when I was laying there with my daughter freaking out in my face because the only time she wouldn't sleep was at the beach house since her crib was right next to mine. And all night she did this, right? So I never used SlumberPod, but I could have come up with that idea, at this in the same year. But I love the product and I love the owners, and we're constantly doing stuff with them, and they're fabulous people. And I refer the SlumberPod all the time. Sometimes I remember to give them my coupon code. Sometimes I don't because I don't care. It's just about sharing a good product. I actually have to get better at that. But it's not about that. It's about sharing a quality product. But if you can make the referral part of it easy, then what's to stop people from sharing it, right? You've just got to determine for your business, how is it going to be set up? Inside of Sleep Steps, we use a course platform, okay, which we talk about in the lab. And I'm doing a new training kicking off on the new course because I actually switched at the end of the year from a different course provider to the current provider. So I'm going to redo the course creation compass in the next few weeks and take people through the new platform I'm using and how I've set it all up, because it's amazing. And it just looks so much cleaner than the other systems I was using. And for a variety of reasons, I switched. But that being said, they also make the affiliate part of it really simple. So I'm giving pediatricians pro bono access to my Sleep Steps program. They simply fill out a form and then they get access. Now they can see the education I'm teaching. So if they want to share it to their patients, they are confident in the methods I'm teaching, right? I make it super simple. If they want to fill out something around the affiliates. Now with pediatricians, you have to be careful because there's like rules around compensation for doctors, but it's more so for influencers, right? So if somebody wants to share, much like I share the SlumberPod, if SlumberPod shares Sleep Steps, they get $10 per person who joins per month. 100 people join, it's a pretty sweet little side change. And the product's good. It's not like they're, suggesting a crappy product. So if you have the right tools in place, you can get an affiliate system set up. Now, there's a lot of different ways you can do this, and we dive into it more in the lab, but basically at the highest level, you're going to have affiliate systems that are built into whatever your provider is that you're using. There's opportunity for plugins. Some are free. Most good ones are paid, meaning if you have a WordPress website and you use WooCommerce, you can buy the WooCommerce affiliate plugin and download it on your site and get it all set up and manage it there. There's sites like Share a Sale, Grin. Grin is like a $35,000 a month minimum. So that's out of the park for most of the folks that are here. But there's a lot of different providers that offer affiliate programs, and then they take kind of a cut. It's pros and cons, right? So the system I use makes it all easy, also doesn't take a cut. There's no fee that's outside of my current membership. So it's like all one thing versus having 100 different things, right? Who's handling the payouts? Is it something you have to do manually at the end of the month? And then what about the 1099s? Where are those going to, right? Like there are things when you start doing this, you've got to pay attention to from like your own tax and liability purposes, right? But you've also got to make sure it's simple. I'm telling you guys, I didn't do it so easily for a bit. And I'm like, oh, do I do Sarah Sale? Okay, that's not working. Let me do WooCommerce affiliate. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a pain that took us. Let me use Heartbeat. Let me use, you know what I mean? And like I moved around trying different things. The benefit is you get my experience and you don't have to waste the 3 years trying to do it 8 different ways to figure out what resonates. But what we have right now is like a great process for both private coaching and the one-to-one referrals for the $50. And then what we do with the kind of affiliate side of things within Sleep Steps and then ultimately in the lab, right? Like if you join the lab and you like it and you're passionate about what we're doing, you can sign up to be an affiliate. And then you get 10% if you have a conversation with somebody and they decide to join the lab. It's automatic. Use this link at checkout. Like if Melanie talked to Ashika and was like, hey, you should join the lab. And Ashika joined the lab using Melody's link, she just made $500 as a thank you for taking an hour of your time to talk to somebody about my program. I am going to compensate you for that because you should be paid for an hour of your time, right? So it's looking at what the programs are that you offer. And then when you're sharing the word, right? Like every time I go out to like some of these sites, I don't even see the word affiliate anymore. I just click the link. I'm like, Mother Chic says to buy this. Let me see what these jeans are with the star on their butt. They're cute, right? I know it's an affiliate link, but I don't care. I just want to see what the cute thing is she's hawking, right? Like affiliate revenue and affiliate networking and affiliate partnerships, every product has an affiliate program, right? And it's used in a variety of different ways. It's whether or not you choose to sign up for it, but you have to think about it in that capacity. You've got affiliate revenue, you've got referral revenue, and then you've got referral partnerships that don't involve like monetary or product compensation. As I mentioned, doctors. I can't pay a doctor to talk about sleep steps. That's not appropriate, and it's not legal anymore because they used to have the pharmaceutical companies paying to hawk pills, right? And prescriptions back in the day. So there's a lot more regulation around like what they can do, but you know what they can do? They can suggest my program just because they see it and they know it's quality, and they can say, hey, check this out. It's $47 a month. This is exactly what you need. I can't help you in our 5-minute appointment. So it's looking at your own needs as a business owner and going, first, who do I identify with as far as who I want to become a referral partner with? Make a list. Okay. So in your workbook, you got to figure out like, who is the best person to help me sell my product, right? I'm going to teach you guys something that is really helpful that I learned from a previous coach. Okay. It's called a near miss. A near miss. Okay. So it's not, hi, Melody, can I tell you about all the programs that I sell? And I hope you'd sell them on my behalf by talking to your clients about it. No, nobody's going to do that. They're going to be like, I'm not selling your thing. Go away. Right. But if you say, hey, Melody, as the CEO of an accounting firm that has employees working overtime in tax season, like, is there anything that you could see would be beneficial around like sleep hygiene education that employees might want, right? So you're asking them for feedback without trying to like sell them something, right? It's called a near miss. It's the same as the example I shared with the dietitian. Like, hey, dietitian, are you interested in any new clients right now? I see a lot of folks in the postpartum space who are trying to get their eating and hormones aligned, and I know it's very much connected in the gut. Oh my gosh, yes, I would love to. Great. Oh, and you do sleep coaching? I could totally use that, right? See, near miss. I asked them about something that would benefit their business. And then they come back, much like Maureen, nice sweater, right? They come back with, oh, your lipstick's pretty. It's just human nature. The next time somebody compliments you, you're going to bite your tongue because you're going to want to compliment them right back. And it's not a bad thing, but I feel like sometimes it's just our behavior to feel like we have to compliment somebody back or offer something back. Out of good practice, out of good manners. I don't know what it is. I'm not a human behavior expert. I just know that like I'm always trying to think of ways to do things different or better, right? We've done things with like special practitioner packages that we send out. And I go through in the lab exactly how I build them, what I send and what I say. There's different ways to reach these folks through DMs and Instagram and Reddit and sub communities and expert communities I'm not allowed to be a part of. But when you reach out to the admin and you go, hey, like I'm not allowed in this group because I ain't a doctor, but like I got something doctors need. Would you welcome the opportunity to learn more about it? I'll happily give you access. And they go, whoa, this is gangbusters. Can you do a presentation to 500 pediatricians? Absolutely. Absolutely. Sure. Yes. No problem. Guess who just got 500 pediatricians? Right? That's the way you've got to be thinking. How can I do it different and better? How can I do this outreach in a way I'm comfortable? And how can I make it not awkward? Right? I talked last week about creating content that was blogs, right? Somebody's in a Facebook group and they're like, my kid sucks. He won't use anything but the pacifier. And you go out and you write a blog on the topic to answer their question, just like you would have done in the Facebook group, but instead you write a blog, right? Then you backdate the blog to like a week earlier. And then you take the link from the blog and you put it in the Facebook group. You just killed 2 birds with 1 stone. 1, clicks to your website. That helps your Google and SEO ranking. 2, you're answering their question. And then the 45,000 people that search that same question and click on that same link are also going to find your website. And right at the bottom of your blog, you're going to have a call to action to book a complimentary call to get started, right? So there's little things like that. When you're strategic, you can figure it out, but you have to be confident in what you sell, and you have to be confident in forging new relationships and do it in a way that you're comfortable with. So many people are afraid of pediatricians because they're doctors. You know what they're not? Sleep experts. There's no clinical training for how to sleep train babies. Why? Because it's not a clinical issue, it's behavior. Your baby has a bad habit. We got to break it. Here's how you break it. You know what I mean? So you've got to figure out with whatever you sell, how you're comfortable building new relationships, right? What are ways you can work with them? What are ways you can help them know that you're new to the space and that you have different perspectives on things, right? You've got to sit and figure out like who do you want to work with? And then, part of your homework for tonight is what are the top 3 business verticals that you can partner with? You got to think about not just the obvious, but like who strategically really are you like, wow, I'm totally didn't even think about this one. Newborn photographers is a great one for us, right? Depends if you have a local presence or if you have more of a larger geographic presence, right? You've got to figure out like, who can I get into that might be able to help, right? I talk with a lot of psychologists, divorce psychologists, right? Psychiatrists and psychologists. They're dealing with parents who have kids that don't sleep and they're at each other's heads and, things are at odds. A lot of it comes back to like sleep, family, like a lot of divorces those first couple of years with babies because everybody's tired and strung out, man. Try to start with some of those. Like there's so many different ways that you can approach the market. So you've got to think about for your own business, like, is this referral program going to be something that lives in a system, in my CRM, on a spreadsheet? For a while, guys, I did it on a spreadsheet. I'm like, oh, okay, like Melody Patton referred Billy for sleep coaching. She gets $50. And we had a Google sheet. And basically my team managed it all in one Google sheet where we all had access. Now we do it in the CRM. It was simple. You saw it. I put 2 comments up there, piggy bank and how much money's in it. And so if somebody books a call, then I take $50 out. If somebody books private coaching, I take a couple $100 out, right? It depends on what they want and what they need, but you can earn as much money as you want. And you know what else I do, guys? I let them gift it. What do you mean? They earn $700 and their shop closed because they're not having any more babies. I will allow them to take $700 and turn it into a gift card towards sleep coaching services in the future that they can gift to a friend. How amazing is that? If you could give your best friend $700 for sleep coaching services. Guys, if somebody's built up $700 with me, right? And they got $50 for each client, think about how much money I made to be able to give them the 700. Right? My packages are between $1,000 and $2,000. So if you earned enough by sending 14 people to me, and we'll say on average they booked, I don't know, sometimes the lowest, sometimes the cheapest or the highest, right? It's 20 to 30,000 bucks I made. Here's your 700, right? Like, I know to people, they'd be like, you'd give $700 away? Yeah, I'd give $700 away to make 30 grand any day of the week. You got to think about things different. Okay. Referrals are your best friend, and it's up to 85% of your revenue coming in, or at least new leads. It might not be your revenue. It depends on your ad strategy and such, but like, it's a lot of people. Referrals are a large part of your business, right? So make sure that you're massaging and working those referrals, which is going to lead into the rest of the session. Tomorrow, we're talking about nurture sequences. How do you stay on top of people? I'm sending a newsletter out today. I do it once a month to my kind of mature list. And I'm like, here's the blog, here's the podcast, here's the toddler blog, here's the infant blog. Oh, it's daylight savings. By the way, we have sleep steps. Here you go. Have a great day. And then if I send those out and I've got somebody who after 2 months hasn't opened my email, I pull them off my list. Why? Because I don't want you on my list. If you're not an active buyer, bye. I'm not going to spend money on paying for you to be in my CRM. I'll save the contact, I download them, but I get rid of them. I want to be talking to people who want me. People get so upset about unsubscribes. You don't want to hear from me? Hit unsubscribe. It's fine. It means I'll leave you alone. I don't want to, you know what I mean? I'm not chasing business. I'm trying to provide helpful information because at some point you're going to realize you need me and that you want the knowledge that's in here. I'll be here. You just decide at what point you're ready to do that and what the cost is. I raise my prices 3 or 4 times a year on both sides of my business. Just depends on what I'm offering. So when you're ready, you can come in and decide to work with myself or a member of my team on the sleep side. You know what I mean? Like, I'm never going to force anybody. Like, my client came back to me. She's like, gosh, I want to work with you again. Your prices are a bit different. I'm like, they are a bit different. And I'm also 5 years more knowledgeable. If you want to work with me, great. If you don't, I have an amazing team. You know who they worked with? Me. And they justified the husband who at the first time was like, no, I don't know, like was singing my praises by the time we were done, right? Second time, he's like, oh, hell yeah, you just spend the money, right? Like, because I proved myself to be a good resource for them. Okay. Your name and your reputation is all the referrals you need, right? But you've got to earn that and you got to do the work to get that. It's not just like people are going to find you. Okay. I sit here every day and I strategize and then I call Kelly and I'm like, what about this? What about this? Kelly's like my wall of like bounce this idea. She's like, I don't know about that way, and I'm like, oh, you're right. Sometimes it's good to have a sounding board, and we have that, in the lab. You probably have it in like group chats. Like I still have a group WhatsApp with some of the girls that I certified with or that have kind of molded in from other certifications. We've all become friends. And just the other day, somebody was like, hey, how do you do this thing? I'm getting whacked with this. I'm like, oh, I teach that in the lab. Here's how you do it. Here's a loom, blah, 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 blah. She's like, oh my God, I never thought about this. Then 3 other people chimed in. They're like, I never thought to do that. I didn't think to do that either. Right. Well, I make an extra almost 10 grand a year by doing it. So they're like, geez, this is great. Right. So there's like little tips, right, that you'll share, but like those little things that you're sharing with your clients are going to lead to potentially $5,000-$10,000 in new clients easily. Okay. So I know it's a lot to think about. So I do want to leave a little bit of time today because I always get questions on the referral stuff, but I'm also happy to answer them if you're like, I'm thinking about it. And then, you want to shoot me a DM or an email, but, referrals are fun. They're a great source of validity. I will happily use somebody who refers me to someone. Most of the time, they're pretty good. Small percentage of the time, I think they probably had an affiliate link, if you want my honest feedback. But I try to vet people. It's not on somebody else to vet them for me, but I've got to make sure they're the right fit for whatever it is I'm looking to buy. Okay. So I'm going to leave some time for any questions if anybody has any. Oh, and Miss Tracy, I just want to come snuggle with your little one. So, if anybody has any questions, you can pop them in the chat. If you're catching this on the replay, you can drop me an email. Somebody actually emailed me the other day because they had a question about one of the things I said in the video. If you have a question, email me. And they did. So I'm going to answer her in a little bit. And if you're watching again, hi. So if there's any questions, let me know. And if not, then your homework for tonight, which if you've been doing them every night, is to tell me 3 practitioners that you're interested in working with. And then after tonight, or I think I did homework tomorrow as well. Let me just double check because I've got to prepare properly for Wednesday, which is going to be the SEO audit and assessment. I think I've got one more for tomorrow night for homework. Let me just double check because tomorrow's a big one. Yes. Okay, good. So tomorrow night we're doing emails. That's a big one. And there's one more homework assignment, and then we're going to pick somebody on Wednesday morning. And before we get on at 11, do some research into whoever the winner is so we can properly showcase them. Okay. Questions? Anybody have questions? No? Everybody's feeling good? Okay. Always like to make sure. Let me just check the chat. Good. All right. Well, so tomorrow we're going to cover nurture sequences. That is email marketing. That is using emails or newsletters to communicate with people who are in your list. So whether you're trying to sell them something, whether you're trying to keep them informed, whether you're trying to update them on a particular thing or a launch, those emails are very valuable because they never go away, which is great. Most people don't change their email. So once you have it and you have to earn it, it can be a very easy way to build your business. So that's tomorrow. And then Wednesday's SEO. I'm going to show you some cool tools and then do a live audit, and we will be done. And then you will be fully educated and informed. I always welcome feedback on these sessions as well. So whether it's today or in an email, what is the biggest takeaways? What have you learned? And hopefully I send you on your way with lots of good knowledge. So, and hopefully some of you end up at some point joining the lab, which obviously I'd want at some point, but you have to do that when you're ready. So if there's no questions, I'll let you guys go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, guys, we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.